let me make this difference. I bought the train ticket for the Spring Festival holidays by the skin of my teeth.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And there it is, out of the box, my new Tecsun PL-680. I'm very excited about this radio, and so I'm going to attempt to do a review without getting over excited and losing track of what I'm trying to do here. It didn't take me very long. Matter of fact, I've only been using it for 15 minutes. It didn't take me very long to learn how to use it because, and let me put this back a little bit, and we'll move this over. This guy, whoops, move the other one back. Let me zoom out a little bit, temporarily, so you can see both of them. This is my PL-660. I got this in September of 2013, and this is one of my two most favorite shortwave portable radios. The other one is the Sanjian. And I started using this, like I say, 15 minutes ago, and it appears that these two radios work identical. And it appears they have the same features. They have the same bands. Let me go back to the new guy. I got this one a couple of days ago. It's been out for about 9 months, I think, maybe a little longer. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I've been trying to get one off of Amazon, but wasn't able to. So I got this from ANON-CO. And the people there were very cooperative and sent me this to do a review. So we're going to do our best to do a thorough review. There's a lot of things to cover. This video will probably be pretty long, so I apologize if you don't like long videos. Maybe you can watch half of it and then come back to the other half later. Okay, so what bands do both of these radios cover? This covers the FM band, the medium wave band, the long wave band, and the air band, and guess what? It covers the shortwave band, continuous on the shortwave band from 1.711 megahertz to 29.999 megahertz. Covers the entire shortwave band with no breaks, no band switching, just continuous coverage. This is what a shortwave radio should be like. So that's what it covers. It's got a ton of features. I hope I touch on all of them. I made some notes, hopefully, so I don't miss. But the question that came to mind after using this for a few seconds, when I realized, hey, I've already used this radio. I've used it in this radio. The question is, why did Tecsun come out with this radio? You're going to see, at least this is my conclusion, these are the same radios. I've done some listening to shortwave, and that's the main thing I'm interested in. Shortwave. I'm not interested in medium wave or FM. You know, I'm interested in shortwave. So I don't do hardly any testing of AM and FM on these radios. Also, the air bands on shortwave radios is typically mediocre at best. You can buy a used $10 scanner and it'll work a lot better. So I don't test that band. The other band is the long wave band, which here in Florida, I've never gotten a long wave station. I've gotten some beacons, I think, but so I really don't concern myself with long wave. Concerned about shortwave. That's what this is about. So anyway, so that's the bands it covers. Now, I'm going to use, oh my gosh, I forgot it. Did I forget it, or do I have it over here in my notes? I got it right here. Here we go. The old man came true. I'm going to use my shortwave radio report card. And with this, these are some things that I look at. I look at the look and feel of the radio itself. I look at the readability of the displays and the lettering. Look at the power options, both the things that are optional and things that are included. I look at tuning. How easy is it to tune the radio? How accurate is the tuning? Yeah, I kind of touch on that. Audio quality is always important. Special features. What special features does this radio have? And lastly, in a separate show, and I'll probably touch on it if I don't run over too much, which I'm already up to 6 minutes and I haven't even said anything, is I'll do a reception test, and then I'll give it a final grade. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And from time to time, I will compare it to the 660. Now, I'll mention the other radio in this triad, and that is the 880, which I have not far from me, but I don't really like the 880 because it has lots of problems on single sideband. So I just don't use it that much. So I'm not going to compare it. Because I can tell you right off the bat, my opinion, the 880 is not the radio for me. Okay, so we're not going to put that in the loop. Otherwise, we'd be here for hours. Okay, couple of quick notes. Here is the case for the 660. There it is. Soft plastic case. It's not bad. Good for storage. Okay. Here, now this is where the 680 excels compared to the 660. Here is the case that came with the 680. It's kind of stiff, good, very good protection for the radio. Got their little logo there. Zippered. This is zippered. The other one is Velcro. This is a nice case. That comes with it. Of course, the manual comes with it. And one of these just long wire antennas, they come with it. This is typical. I just drop it out of here real quick. I think it's about 30 feet long. Just a roll-up wire. It has the connector, proper connector on it already. So this is good for when you're outdoors at a park or something. This is not a bad antenna. Not a good antenna to bring this into your house or your workshop that's got a lot of RF, because the RF will couple onto this unshielded cable. Of course it's unshielded because that's the antenna, but there's no shielded lead-in for it. So take it for what it's worth. I've used it. I did a couple of videos using one of these. They work pretty good, darn good, considering what they are, away from your house. And this, of course, comes with the plug. This radio has an external jack for an antenna. So, comes with that. Comes with a pair of earbuds, nothing special there. And it comes with a power supply. Now, I haven't tested this radio on this power supply to see if it introduces noise. I'll do that later. I won't do it in this video. So that's what it comes with. All those goodies. I got this from ANON-CO. They sent it to me for a review. It sells for $95 plus shipping. And I'll put their website address in the description below this video. Gosh, we're up 10 minutes and I haven't even hardly started. Okay, we got to get moving along here. Okay, so let's go back to the report card and we'll take a look at look and feel. So let's see how this thing, The finish and everything is really nice. It's not super reflected plastic. It's a dull finish. Nice big display. I'll talk about that later. The numbers and letters and everything are very easy to read. I can even read this small print. Let me zoom in. Oh, God, I forgot to zoom in. Okay, let's get in here. So look and feel is good. I'm going to give look at. I can't find anything wrong with look and feel. Now, the 660. Let me put this antenna down before I break something off. And while I'm playing with the antenna, let me just say something. This antenna is a little longer when fully extended than the 660. But, and I can't capture it on camera, but the last section right here is really small, really thin. That could easily be broken off. The last section on the 660 is much thicker. It's about the thickness of the next to last section. Okay. So that's the look and feel. Now, what I was getting ready to say is this one stands up straight pretty good. It's got a similar base to it. There's the base. It's got two little gray feet, one on each end. Plus it has this little wire thing that you could pull out to help stabilize it even more. The 660, and let me put its antenna down. I would say the 680's antenna is probably about 8 inches longer. Okay. This, for some reason, I think it's because these little tabs on this one, right there, similar to the gray ones on this one, are really small. You can barely film, and therefore it doesn't do a good job of holding this radio up. It will stand up, but it's a little scary. So anyway, so that's a little bit about the look and feel. The knobs, the tuning knob, for instance, is very smooth. The other two controls, which are the single sideband tuning and the volume, very smooth. I think I would say they're pretty much identical. Yeah, they're identical. Those knobs are identical. Okay. The antenna, while I'm back on the antenna again, it swivels, but because it's recessed a little bit, you can't make it stand straight up. So it's off at an angle. I don't know if you can tell it. See there? It's off at an angle. And I don't think on some of these radios, and I got to be very careful I don't break it. No, on some of the radios that are like this bottom piece right here will extend, will come out of the socket, and therefore then you can flip it straight up. This one, I don't think you can. I don't want to break it. Brand new radio, I don't want to break it. Just spit on it. Gee whiz. Okay. So that's look and feel. I'm going to give it, I can't find anything. They've improved the little base there so it stands up better. I'm going to give it an A. Seriously, I'm going to give it an A. Look and feel. A. Okay, the next one is readability. Whoops. Okay, got to get all my papers here straightened out. Let me get back in screen here and zoom back in because I want to show you readability. Okay. The display, like I say, is a big display. It's well backlit. Let me get the backlight back on. Where is? Just had it there a minute ago. Where did it? Oh, it's way up here. Okay, there's the backlight. very well backlight. It's amber, shows up very well. I think, no, I'll take that back. I was going to say something wrong. Well, I probably already said a dozen things wrong, but I was going to say, well, okay, forget it. I was going to say the backlight stays on, but it doesn't. The backlight comes on if you touch any of the controls. That's why it appears that it's staying on. And it stays on for either 5 seconds or 30 seconds. I don't know if it will stay on if you're on the AC adapter. I just looked in the manual before I started this video, and I couldn't find anything that said it does. So I'm not positive. Now it's back off now. Turn it back on. See? Really bright. Even when it's off, it's bright and easy to read. Okay, so much for that. So readability, this thing's excellent. The numbers are easy to read. I have to give it an A. Readability's an A. I tried to find my scorecard that I did on the 660 before, but I couldn't find it. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is. Okay, power options. And the grade here kind of depends on, number one, what the options are, and number two, what do they provide with the package. Okay, this runs on 4 AA batteries, and they can be rechargeable batteries, and the AC adapter will recharge the batteries in the radio. Now, I don't do that. I don't trust that. I always charge my batteries external, just to be safe. I don't want the batteries to leak and run the radio, so I don't ever use that function. And what you have to do is you have to turn that function off. It doesn't appear to have the intelligence to know the difference between chargeable and rechargeable. So if you put non-rechargeable batteries in this and you leave it in the rechargeable mode, you might have a problem there. So anyway, so I don't, on none of my radios do I charge the batteries inside the radio. Okay. Other option is, and then of course right here is where the AC adapter comes in. So, and as I mentioned before, they supply the AC adapter. I have not tested the radio on the AC adapter to see if the AC adapter causes noise when you're trying to listen. I haven't tried it. I will try that, and I'll post an update. Okay. Nope. Turn the volume back down. So power options. I'm trying to think what other power option you could have. I don't know of any other power option. There probably is one after so. So I'm going to knock it down one letter, and the reason being is what appears to be a potential problem is if you put in non-chargeable batteries and you have it in the charge mode, which you have to select, that might cause a problem. I'm not sure, and I'm not going to test it. So based on that, I'm going to knock it down to a B. So I'm being honest here. Okay, next is tuning. How easy is it to tune? Okay, this radio, as well as its sister there, the 660, has a number of ways of tuning. It's got the tuning knob on the side. Now, it's in a memory mode right now, so let me take it out of memory mode. And now I can tune it manually. So now it's tuning. And what it says is it has an automatic transmission, so that the faster you turn this wheel, it will jump from, I believe it's 1 kilohertz, this is on shortwave, 1 kilohertz to 5 kilohertz increments. And it does that on its own. I don't know if that's good or bad, but anyway. And the tuning is really smooth. Now, one thing I noticed, and I'm not, now, we were listening to China radio on 9570. And the frequency shown when I moved it was right on. Let me go back to that, see if it's still on the air, or I'm still receiving it. Yeah. I have the antenna down, and you can see it's kind of waving, but it's now what I've noticed, and I don't know if you caught that, is that it appears to be about 2 kilohertz off. See, it seemed to tune in better when I tuned down to 9.568 instead of 9570. I also noticed that when I was tuning WWV on 10 megahertz, it wanted to be down 2 kilohertz. So I think the tuning is off by 1 or 2 kilohertz. I think. It's been my observation. Now, just for grins, let me turn this down and see if we can still get that on the 660 right now. Again, the antenna is down. Yeah, it's good. Now let's see what happens. Oh, I'm still in memory mode. Okay, I just noticed something. The buttons on the 680 are square and they're a little bigger. The buttons, and this thing I didn't like, this is something I didn't like about the 660, is the buttons are real tiny over here. These buttons here are real tiny, and you have to get right over the top of them to push down. So that's an improvement. That's an improvement. Okay, let's fine tune this.
The oral tones we're going to release used to be kept by people as pets. That's why they really depend on humans. We looked for a place to release them that is very...
Now I couldn't see, when I was tuning around 9.570, I didn't see any difference. Pretty well, even I went from 9.568 to 9.572, and the signals seemed to stay the same. I'm not in synchronization mode. Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter. Where the Tecsun, no, they're both Texans, gee whiz, Tom, get with the program here. The 680, turn this down, the 680 seemed to want to be better when I was tuned off by 2 kilohertz. Let's see, try it again. 9.680. I'm getting a little static now. See? It looks like it's off by 2 kilohertz. Same thing at 10 megahertz, excuse me. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So, man, I'm going to have to knock it down. It's receiving good, but it seems to be off by 2 kilohertz. That's good to be. Sorry. I would have given the 660 an A. Hush. Gosh, people are talking when you're trying to talk. Okay, next is audio quality. I've tried both of those radios, and the audio quality is very good. The speaker, pretty good sized speaker. It appeared to be about the same size. I saw nothing wrong with the 80. Oh my gosh, the audio quality. And it does have a, let's see what they call it. It does have a tone switch, and the settings are treble and bass. And to really detect the audio quality, I'd have to play some music. Don't want to try that, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to say I'm going to say it's an A. I'm going to say it's an A. Now, what I will do is I may come back to this one when I try tuning single sideband and when I try using the synchronous detect circuit. We'll see what the audio does then. So I may change that grade, and I'll do that when I do the reception testing. Oh my gosh, we're up 25 minutes. I knew this would be long. Okay, we're almost there. Special features. Okay, this thing has a ton of both of them, and they appear to have the same features, but I wrote those down. Where did I write? Okay, special features. I'm just going to read them off to you. Here's the list of of features. And I started marking which ones I considered special and which I considered they weren't special. And I was halfway through and I had 90% of them marked special. So I'm just going to read them off to you real quickly. Dual conversion. That's always good to have in a radio. Triple conversion is even better. And you can look up on the internet what dual, triple, and single conversion is and what it does for you. But this one has dual. It has single sideband. Has synchronous detection. And it seems to work quite well. I had never heard good synchronous detection since Sony did it originally. All these companies have been trying to duplicate what Sony did on their earlier radios, and they failed, except these two Tecsun radios. The synchronous detection works. And that, again, you can look that up on the internet, and basically what it's going to do is going to help you, or help the radio stay locked onto a frequency. When the frequency is wavering, coming in and out, it's trying to help that and keep locked on that signal. This radio has that. The 660 has it. Okay. A rotary tuning knob, which I showed you on the side here, that has an automatic transmission. So it automatically changes gears between slow and fast tuning, depending on how fast you turn the knob. Direct tuning keypad. You can punch in a frequency, go directly to it, boom. Like for instance, if we wanted to go to WWV, I type in 10000 and enter, and it's there. Actually, I don't think I had to type enter because I typed all the numbers. And it's not there. Well, it's there, it's very weak, but I've got the antenna collapsed, so it doesn't surprise you. So point is, direct tuning. Whoa. That helps. Okay. What else we got? I'm trying to get through these quickly, and I'm not doing it. Has 2,000 station memories. This one has, yep, the 660 has 2,000. No difference. LCD backlit. Yep, as I mentioned before, 5 seconds or 30 seconds. Clock, 2 alarms, and a sleep timer. 3-position DX switch on the side. In case you're getting strong signals, you need to knock it down. It's got a switch on the side for DX. It's got DX, normal, and local. 3 positions instead of 2. The 660, same. FM shortwave antenna jack. It has an antenna jack on the side. Well, I skipped over a lot of things. Tone control, I talked about that. Key lock to lock the keyboard up. Built-in charging system for nickel metal hydride batteries. DC jack. Yeah, that's how you charge the batteries. You can play the radio without the batteries. So you can play the radio without the batteries. So it's I'll find out if there's any AC hum that comes in when you do that on shortwave. And it closes the accessories I mentioned. So it's got a lot of special features. I'm going to give it an A on special features with that synchronous detection. Also, it has ATS, automatic tuning and storage. And this one even goes a little beyond that, in that depending on whether you push and hold the down arrow button under shortwave or the up arrow on shortwave will determine whether it tunes or scans. And it does a scan of the entire shortwave band in this case, does it on AM and FM too, and it stores any strong signals that it finds. If you use the up arrow, it only scans the international band that the radio is presently in when you hit that button. So it makes for a short scan, because the total scan of the shortwave band takes several minutes. Now, I did compare, I didn't time it, I did compare these two radios as far as how long it takes to scan, because I know the 660 takes a long time to scan. The 680 does scan faster. It was done about a minute before the 660. Like I say, I didn't record the actual time. So that's another feature it has. Those two options, no other radio has that I know of. So again, special features, I'm going to give it an A. So if it gets an A in reception, I'm not saying it will, but if it gets an A in reception, I'm going to give it an overall an A. If it doesn't do as good, if it gets a B, I think I'll have to drop it down to a final grade of a B, which is pretty darn good. And I would consider it a B plus. But let me look at my notes one more time to see how many thousands of things I forgot. Talked about that. Oh, soft muting. The 660 has soft muting, but it recovers really fast. So as you're tuning, it cuts out the audio. But as soon as you stop, the audio is back immediately. So it doesn't bother me so much like the radios that you have to sit there for a half a second on a frequency before the audio comes back. So the 660 does have soft muting. The 680 does have soft muting, but it's less. It's not as bad. It's barely noticeable, to tell you the truth, but it is there. So they do have soft muting. I already dropped it down to a B on tuning. That would definitely make it a B on tuning. They both have soft muting, but they're not bad cases of soft muting. I wish they didn't have soft muting. I think I did mention that the tuning frequency seems to be off 1 or 2 kilohertz. Okay, I think that's about it. We're up to 33 minutes. Holy cow. Okay, final conclusion at this point, I think it's going to be a B plus, final grade. But if you have a 660 and you got a good one, like I say, this one I got in 2013, I think there were some problems with the first ones that came out. But if you have a good one, you like it, it does what you want, there's no reason to get this radio. There's really no reason to get this radio. If you don't have a 660, go out and buy one of these today. I'm going to jump ahead and say the reception is going to be just as good as the 660, which is excellent. Get the 680. Get yourself a Christmas present. They are, I found them on ANON-CO, and that's their website. They have them for, right now they have them for $95 plus shipping, and the shipping cost will depend on where you live and how you want it shipped, whether you want it shipped by slow boat or airmail. So that's about it. I think I've wasted enough of your time, and I am thoroughly in love with the new 680. Unfortunately, Since I have the 680 now, I probably won't be using the 660 as much. But it's a nice radio. That's all I can say. It's a nice radio. You consider getting one if you need a new, good, excellent portable shortwave radio. This is one to get. Again, I don't personally like the 880. It doesn't work. Mine doesn't work very good on single sideband, and I will be doing some single sideband reception testing in an upcoming video. So if you enjoyed this show, I'm sorry it's so long. There was a lot to talk about. Please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.